Hey, good people. As you know, I've been doing sort of a Les Paul copy study over the last few months. Probably looked at 10, 12, 15 brands in all. And it comes down to these two, the final, at least for now. And it's really no coincidence that these two are the two most expensive of all the budget brands that I looked at. These are more in the 400s than the 200s and 300s, which govern the prices of the other ones. So this is the new Wolf I got from AIO Guitars, and this is the Alan Eden Southbound version 2 that I don't know why is not talked about a little bit more. Now, those of you who hate gold hardware, and I've heard from you, are not going to like these two guitars because they're both gold hardware. They are maple capped tops. This one's flamed, this one's quilted. One's natural, one's this sort of blood red burst finish. The parts and materials, pickups are very close. I would say that if I had to pick one, the Wolf would just pip the other one. Definitely in terms of setup and playability, I think the Wolf is the number one, but it's close. It's not that far off, really. And the other one that didn't quite make the final was the IYV Emerald guitar, which I still think is best bang for buck out of all these, considering, what is it, 200 now? It's been as low as 150, 160. It's been as high as 225. Even at 200, it's a great deal, that flame top emerald green. I just let it go to a neighbor that really wanted a Les Paul guitar. So I'm left with these two, and people ask why you're getting rid of them. Well, I don't see the need to have 5, 6, 7 Les Paul copy guitars. Eventually it'll come down to just one of these two, probably the Wolf. I don't see the need to have more than one Tele copy or one Strat copy. Actually, I have a Fender Strat, so I'm fine in that regard. I just, with owning 25, 30 guitars, you really can only stick to, one of each type. Not even that. Just to be able to justify keeping and moving and taking the room up in the house. So I can't have like dozens of these kinds of guitars. I'm looking for the best one for the cheapest price, and I really like these two very similarly. Differences between these is this one's a little bit blingier, but they're both a little bit blingy, I would say, and they both have the abalone style inlays. This one's got some sort of shell around the binding as well, as does this one, but it's not quite as pronounced as the Alan Eden. So I've played both these on videos that I've posted on this channel if you want to hear them. This one most recently, but I think a couple of videos I've played this Alan Eden guitar. And I think AIO and Wolf gets plenty of recognition and is talked about, and plenty of videos covering them. I don't see the same amount for Alan Eden, and I'm a bit miffed by that. I'm wondering if their advertising arm is not up to scratch, because it just doesn't seem to be on people's consciousness, these guitars. It doesn't help that they've had to pull a bunch of their guitars recently. Remember the Riversides and the Sepulvedas that I had? Those now are getting replaced, so the only guitar they really have under the Alan Eden brand is this Les Paul copy. I do have a 1987 neck-through guitar from them that I really like, so it's not my first go-round with Alan Eden. I've probably had 4 or 5 of their guitars now, but I don't know why they're not talked about or discussed in the forums or mentioned as an option for these kinds of guitars. You tell me if you had a working theory on that. So I said I would sort of do a last comparison. I would say this one, the Wolf, wins, but it is a $479 guitar. This is a $430 guitar. I didn't pay that for either one of them, but that's what they go for. So they're both 400 plus. One person said this is basically an IYV with a bit of bling on it. You know, you're not far wrong. I do think it is an upgrade on the IYV Emerald one. But is it worth $200 or $270 more? Probably not. So, you know, it's a fair shout, really. That IYV probably comes third. And it hung around for quite a long time. I've had about 5 or 6 of those as well. So the lady that got the last one got a really good one because it was the best of the bunch. And I would say probably the SX Callisto was number 4. Some people wondered why I got rid of that and why that didn't make the cut. One thing, neck. It's slightly chunkier, and I slightly prefer these narrower necks, just for my fingers, than that Callisto. The Callisto's had just a little bit more beef on the neck and just didn't feel as good. Everything else about it was, you know, up to standard with these. And you know, it's a $200 guitar or a $250 guitar, so it's great value. It was just pure preference, playing preference, that ruled that one out, but it did make the final 4. Probably rounding out the top 5 would be the Leo James model, the deluxe model that I had for a little while, which was pretty decent. That also had a slightly chunkier neck as well, and I think not quite as good pickups and parts as the other 4 that were ahead of it. And then there's a whole slew after that. I've had Monoprice, Indio guitars. I've had the Licks Pro Les Paul model. Gosh, a bunch of others as well. I would say the Bandcamp probably makes the top 6 as well. That was a really nice guitar, probably very similar to the Callisto and the Leo James, maybe a touch better than the Leo James, so maybe that gets into the top 6. That was a great guitar. I didn't quite like that finish and ended up letting it go to a young girl that absolutely fell in love with it, so that was fun to see her excitement. But yeah, there we go. So I probably will give it a rest for a while, and maybe one of these will go, and I'll probably keep the Wolf. So that's the sort of culmination of this process that I've been videotaping now. Filming, videotaping is antiquated, isn't it? For quite a while, probably 4 years, different Les Paul models. All right, folks. See you on the next one. We'll move along to something else. All right. Take care.